Hey, everybody. I'm Niki. This is Merritt. And you played Borderlands 3. How was that experience? What was Randy's playground like?
Randy's beautiful gun playground. There's so many guns in this one. It was interesting. So I played the first two Borderlands games, and I enjoyed them. I finished both of them. It felt like more of that. And I'm kind of curious as to whether or not they're going to be able to make the jump to a world where a shooter is a terrible sounding genre, where it's a real genre that exists and shouldn't be said by anyone. But, you know, like, since Borderlands, we've got Destiny, we've got The Division, we've got all these games, and Borderlands, like the core action of just like shooting at enemies, still feels like a lot like it did in the original, which was like you put a lot of bullets into a guy, and then his health bar finally goes down and he falls over.
Yeah.
And other games have this problem, like Destiny has the bullet sponge issue, but I feel like it's a little more tactile, and Bungie has gone some ways towards solving that problem of like, how do you feel like you're actually causing damage to this character, not just making this bar go down. So that wasn't great. I was playing as the gunner character, Mose, whose big deal is that she has this big mech called the Iron Bear, I believe, that she hops
That's
into.
an extremely good name.
It's kind of cool because you have like 2 hard points that you can switch out weapons on, and you basically just have like a timer, and when it runs out, you have to get out of it. There's like a cool ability where you can add a turret to the top of it, and like one of the other characters can jump on and like fire with it. So that's kind of neat. And yeah, there's like a lot more customization now.
Yeah.
They're like adding more action skills. They're also just cosmetic stuff. They said that they were adding a ton of those. I didn't get to see a lot of that.
Yeah. But as Destiny like has gotten bigger and bigger, like the social aspect of that is so important.
Right.
Is Borderlands 3 making any steps to?
Yeah, I mean, they were really adamant about the fact that this is a game that's like meant to be played with other people.
Right.
But they're also trying to work social stuff more in for people who aren't necessarily like playing with friends. So like the one big thing is that they do have split screen, which is cool because it's not a given anymore in 2019. So there is still split screen, and that's how I played through most of those first 2 games. So that's very cool. I'm kind of excited about that. And then there's some stuff where like the social stuff will come into the single player experience. Right. So like if you sell a gun now, that will kind of like go into the ecosystem, and it will probably end up in someone else's vendor thing, and it will say
that's cool.
From. I don't know if there'll be like any kind of other effect with that, but there are also things like if you encounter like a rare spawn, then that'll also show up on like your friends' bounty boards. So just like some ways of trying to like bring your friends online into it, even if you're not actually playing
and like
with
keeping
them.
it alive.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And those are things that games like Destiny don't really have so much. So it'll be neat to see if they are able to use that to make it feel different.
Yeah.
Need more fam on the field!
How was the writing? Was the writing still like farts and rainbows and this
It's
like
like
unicorns?
a South Park or a Family Guy.
Okay. Great.
If I had to describe it. No, so Tiny Tina is back, which just take that for what it is. I didn't see a ton of the writing.
Okay.
What I did see, there's some kind of cool stuff in there. So the level that I was playing, or the area that I was playing, we were kind of like storming this church, and your enemies in this game are this cult that's run by these twins, and I think they're streamers. So there was one point in the demo where I was in this church and fighting all these guys, and then like the person is like closing down the stream, and she was like, "Don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey." And I was like, okay, that's not bad. I mean, kind of corny, but like also the idea that like every Borderlands game has had a lot of dialogue that's just like radio being broadcast to you. That's how they tell a lot of the story. And to do that as like this character is just like streaming to their cult is like actually kind of funny and sort of works. So I'm curious about that. There's all this weird stuff in that church of like, there were these like people who were frozen into like crystals, and I don't really know what that was about.
Okay.
So I think this cult is like using, or these 2 people are using this cult to like find the vaults, and the idea is that you need to help Lilith do that before they do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that coming out this year?
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
We've been informed that the game is coming
It's
out in
also
September.
September. September's going to be a pretty big month.
It's a big month.
So, yeah, I'll say I'm kind of cautiously optimistic
Right.
because, again, like that, the tactile stuff is like not always great in Borderlands. It does look really nice. I haven't always been the biggest fan of that graphical style, but it's a lot sharper now. So if they can make it like feel good to play, because to me that's like why I would keep playing those games,
Right.
then I'll be on board. The mech stuff seemed cool. I didn't get to play the other characters, but some of them have like other cool abilities. So yeah, we'll see. I only got to play about 15 minutes,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Sweet. Well, thanks.
For the knowledge.
Yeah,
on
thanks for
Borderlands
watching.
3, and thanks for
Remember to
watching.
like, subscribe, and obey.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching. And if you really like this video, you should subscribe to the whole channel because there's a lot of cool stuff like it. Check out fanbyte.com for the latest and greatest in games and entertainment and tech.